All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Parvez Ahmed, and I am a little bit excited for this one, to be honest. This is another special podcast episode that I'm recording. Now, I'm not, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm not too sure how this is going to be in the sense that this is a new kind of like this is podcast, okay, solo podcast that I'm trying out. But I want to maintain the raw authenticity of the production that I do. Production being a little, being a word, I guess, which is a little um, expensive for this kind of stuff, maybe, because essentially I'm just recording videos and calling it production. But I am a little bit ambitious uh, about everything that I do. So the thing is, okay, bear with me here. I am new for this kind of stuff in the sense that I am trying this thing with revamped motivation, and I'm just trying to keep things raw. Like I don't want to introduce a lot of cuts and a lot of editing for the purpose that when we edit things, it changes when we are recording something in its raw format, and then we edit it, it changes. But we live in a fast paced world. I understand that. Like, in the sense that, so initially, when I was starting out on YouTube, I was very interested in the podcast type of content. I want to do podcast, and I ideally want an audience who is patient, and it's mostly intended for long listening sessions, maybe during the night or when you're driving, like a passive listening thing. Maybe when you're working out, you can listen to this, or not just this. I'm saying that podcast in general, it's all about passive listening, right? Like generally, people don't listen to podcasts. I mean, you do, but a lot of the times in our day to day lives, people listen to podcasts when they're commuting to work, or when they're coming back from work, or when they're traveling. Um, it's a good thing to do is passively listen to quality conversations, depending upon the podcast that you're listening to. Now, quality is subjective. It's obviously based on what kind of things you're looking for in a podcast. But the thing is, so, like, hold on, give me a second. Like, I want to check, like, if my frame is right. Like, yeah, like as you can see, this is so generally what I do is I record the like opposite side of you see the other side, which is a window. But I generally, and you might find it weird as a viewer if you have never recorded videos yourself. But if you're facing the window, I think it's a good idea to face a window when you're creating content. But the thing is, like, generally, I used to do a bit of gaming videos, gameplay videos. Well, so the monitor, my setup is in the back. So if I put the tripod on the table, it's better. But I'm just using a bed table because I wanted to face the window. Like, I don't know if that sounds weird or not, but if the light, the exposure of the light, and not just any light, your natural sunlight, especially during the day, if it's falling on you, this is better. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just me. I don't know, but it helps me focus on the content, and it helps me. Uh, I don't know. It just like it also affects the things that I say. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but the thing is, I have to master this craft because I feel the most passionate about making videos that is raw, uncut, very bland, and in a way boring. You can say, you can call it boring. But I want to make very simple, raw, genuine, authentic, the kind of videos where when you watch your the as a viewer, when you're watching your favorite content creator, there should be an authentic connection to the viewer, with from the heart. Like the video should be made from the heart. There are so many different kinds of videos on YouTube, but I don't really like the fast paced with quick cuts and a lot of editing, that kind of content, because I feel like it kills the raw authenticity of content. Now, it is a podcast, but it's a solo podcast. To be very simple, I think it is a solo podcast. But with the idea that, like, when you're listening to podcasts, the top podcasts are all about talking to people, which is fine. But what about someone like me who is unknown to the world and has, has a lot of, honestly, has a lot of things to say? I'm a very opinionated person. I have a lot of opinions, very strong opinions on certain things. And because of my age, I believe like people don't take me seriously because they feel like, oh, this 29-year-old kid, what does he know? But I feel like I have a mental age which goes more than my physical age. So, and I have felt that since I was a little kid, like honestly, and because of that, I have been ostracized in various social circles. And to be very frank, a lot of people don't like to talk to me because they feel like, oh, this guy is like is holier than thou, because I I guess I present that in a certain way, and people don't like that. So I felt, but it's like I feel uh, this need to express myself, because I want to live a life that's meaningful. Hey, I like playing video games. I no, here's the thing. Like I I had this internal struggle, like with the kind of content that I want to make. So ideally, I would be making this kind of content, but my only inferiority complex, or for lack of better way to explain it, my only fear, to be very simple, my only fear is that I feel like if I make this kind of content, it will not get a lot of views. That is what I'm afraid of. But maybe lately I'm realizing is that the views and watch time, it's about when you, like, how, like I used to think like, why do I watch people who are like making simple content like this? Um why do I watch them? Then I realized that when I start watching someone new on YouTube, it's about like, I don't watch someone because they uploaded a video and it's like an amazing video. This kind of raw, authentic content is mostly about the connection the viewer feels with the person that they are seeing talking on the camera. And I think it's that authentic connection that really makes people want to watch those people who are making videos like that. So the thing is, okay, so I have a lot to say, and maybe I'm not gonna. This is not gonna be a structured video, just like my last one. I just want to be this to be another podcast episode, if you will, where I will be talking about the things that is going on inside of me, the things that I'm gonna express the way I feel about things, about recent events, about current events, about the whatever is happening around the world. What's my take on that? And also I will add like whatever I'm going through my personal life. I want to talk about that as well. Okay, let me just do a little fear check, like to check my audio. Yeah, it's recording. So I'm a little OCD, maybe not little, so, maybe a lot actually. So I'm, I don't know if I'm autistic. I honestly like, I have never got myself properly tested. And I live in India, like mental stuff, mental health, mental conditions are a joke, to be honest, in India. And okay, I want to talk about that, but maybe should I go into this right now, or maybe should I find? I'm trying to craft, like, I have to gain mastery over this kind of podcast, freestyle talking podcast, but there has to be a certain flow to it. Like, I cannot certainly jump from topic to topic. I have a tendency of doing that. Maybe because I'm ADHD, I feel like I'm ADHD, like, even though I have never got myself officially tested, but I suffer a lot of the ADHD stuff. I feel like I have it. When I was in school, in college, I had a really hard time of concentrating on, I cannot read something for very long, if that makes any sense. Like, any book, if I'm reading, what I do is, and which might think, I think that's just ADHD. Yeah. I will read a paragraph or I will read a page from a book, and then I will just get lost in the thoughts. Like, I will start thinking and I will get lost in this uh, world of, like, oh, I read something and it sparks something in my mind. And I just get really activated and lost and kind of get high, which is like an ADHD brain, I guess. But I think I'm getting, like, as I'm getting older, I'm getting the hang of it. But the thing is, yeah, I probably do have ADHD. Uh, so what was I gonna talk about? I was gonna talk about something, but no, okay, let's see if this is up. Then let's just finish with this topic because it has already come up. So I kind of lost my train of thought there. What should I do here? Again, see, please, like, yeah, I know some person will come in the comments and they'll be like really hurtful, and that really bothers me because I have a lot of motivational issue. Like, I suffer with from depression. Okay, like, especially for the last few weeks, I've been really depressed. I have a general depression. If any person who's depressed understands, like, depression comes, sometimes the depression softens, but then comes the burst of depression. And I have come to a few conclusions about depression. I have a really hard time falling asleep at night. So what happens is, generally, when if very close to bedtime, I think it's my ADHD. If I get too activated about something, if I get too excited about something, I find it really hard to fall asleep. But there is also this issue with discipline. I'm very indisciplined, to be frankly honest. I'm a very indisciplined person in the sense that, okay, so yesterday night, decent, I had really decent, more than decent, maybe, quality sleep. I really had some quality sleep. I really struggle a lot with sleeping, but for the past few weeks, especially, I've been struggling a lot. So there's a couple of things related to that. You'll be shocked. So let me tell you. Like, you have obviously heard about all the reasons why we don't fall asleep, because of our screen time addiction stuff, and because we drink a lot of coffee. Those are the stuff that you have already heard about. But here's the thing, like, I need to tell you about, because this is kind of new information here that might be interfering with your sleep and you might not even know it. So I take supplements. Okay, I take this Centrum. I don't know if I have the bottle here. I don't right now. So I take like supplements. Like, for example, this one I'm taking right now. It's vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex 40 with vitamin C capsules. So these are basically vitamin B and C capsules. Okay. So this is what I'm taking right now. And I heard somewhere that if you're taking vitamin B supplements or vitamin B, like what happens is when you take vitamins through the supplement form, all the vitamins and minerals, they just go to your stomach and there's an outburst. You can feel it. Like if you take vitamin supplements, you know about this. The moment you take it, you feel this energy burst. You can feel it. If you're, I don't know if everybody feels that. That's why a lot of people get upset stomach if they take multivitamin supplements. But here's the thing, I've been observing that because I was stuck in this cycle recently for the last few weeks where I was like, I I was going to sleep in the morning when the sun was coming up because I couldn't, like, that was my natural circadian rhythm. It had become that was feeling tired and really exhausted during the early mornings. And then I used to go to bed. I was already in the bed, but I used to like feel like dropping my phone finally and trying to get some sleep. I tried during the night, but it was not happening because my circadian. This is what happens. Like when your circadian rhythm it gets shifted towards the uh towards a particular time, you will fall asleep during that particular time only. And what happens is, so what I was happening is that during 5 a.m. in the morning, 6 a.m., that kind of timing, which is, you can imagine, it's horrible, horrible timing. 5 a.m. If you're going to sleep at 5 a.m. in the morning, it's the worst thing. It's kind of one of the worst things you can do to yourself, honestly. If you're going to sleep at, I mean, it even the merely talking about it is making me nauseous. Like, I'm thinking like, how can, what, like, I'm getting the feeling like, what a disgusting thing to do. Like, because I have suffered so much because of bad sleeping habit. Like I used to go to sleep at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning because not because like people think like, especially older people who have no understanding of this kind of stuff. People think like it's like somebody is doing that deliberately. Oh, here's the thing. Like, why would somebody suffer deliberately? I genuinely want to fall asleep early. Like ideally, I would go want to go to sleep ideally just after sunset. That is actually, if you're thinking about things in terms of cavemen, hunter-gatherer society, and when do you think people would go to sleep? After sun sets, all the animals would come out, all the lions and tigers. I mean, all the dangerous predators would be out there. And because there's no sunlight, it is a really good idea to go to sleep, like go hide in your cave. I have a few, obviously, they were watchmen or something, I hope. I guess, like people say, right? Like people used to do night shift, like to protect the other people from predators during the caveman era. But in hunter-gatherer societies, because there was no electricity, there was no electric bulbs, no artificial lights. The only artificial light was, it was not artificial, but you know what I'm trying to say, the fire. If they're burning firewood and then getting fire, that's the only source of light, fire. But that fire has a very, like, I don't know, because of that, when we keep warm lights in our rooms, we tend not to fall like into this like deep night trenches. Like, if you have in your smartphone also, if you're late at night, you're watching some thing on your phone, but you have this thing, there's a warm light filter on your phone which turns the phone light, makes it warm. So that warm light setting is good. I mean, I find it quite effective. Like, if you, as at least in comparison to the normal blue light that is emitting from your phone, you're not going to fall asleep. Obviously, your brain is going to think it's daylight because we associate blue light or white light with day. I mean, that is how our minds, because of evolution, obviously, that is how our minds have become. When we used to, like in hunter-gatherer society, when it was sunset, And even the sunset, the lighting of the sunset is also very warm. The sunlight is in itself very warm, yellowish kind of light. During the day, it's very white, but during the sunset, the sun turns very reddish and yellowish, right? So we have that kind of association. Our brain is programmed like that. When we see that, we feel like, yeah, it's time to wind down. So ideally, the best time to go to sleep is during the evenings, like after sunset, basically. When there's no daylight, there's not really a point. There's no point really to stay awake after daylight. Like it's actually a bad habit if you think of it. Like try it. Don't take my whatever I'm saying. Just think about it. Ponder upon it. It's just something to think about, right? Like after daylight, what's the point of staying awake? We should all go to sleep. And if we go to sleep after daylight, I think most people will get up. Like naturally, they will awaken around 3 a.m. Times like 3 a.m., which a lot of spiritual circles they say like that is like the ideal time to wake up and meditate. 3 a.m. meditation. But to meditate at 3 a.m., you have to go to sleep. Way back, like at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you should go to sleep, right? Then if you go to sleep at like 6 p.m., you have 6 hours, turn 12 o'clock at night. You have 6 hours of sleep. And let's say you have 2 more hours, then it's 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, it's your 9 hours. And 2 o'clock, it's like 8 hours, right? So like it's all I'm saying, like something to think about. Like I think it will is somewhat better maybe to go to sleep. But the thing is, even if you don't go to sleep exactly after sunset, it is, I think, a wise thing to keep in mind is that we are naturally able to wake up with the sunrise. I don't think it's a good idea to be sleeping after the sun has awakened. Like sun is up, but you're sleeping. That's not a good thing to do. We do that in our modern societies, and I think um that's kind of makes us unhealthy. Like now, I don't know all the science behind it, okay, but from my experience, I can clearly see that if you're sleeping during the night, sleeping during, like people say, like doctors and all the common knowledge, you need 7 to 9 hours sleep. Yeah, that's right. We need 7 to 9 hours of sleep as an adult. But what about the sleep timing? Like you should sleep at night. But a lot of people don't. Like that's what, especially older people don't realize, because older people they generally sleep at night because they're very accustomed. They have no idea how lucky they are in that sense, but they're quite accustomed to that circadian rhythm cycle of sleeping at night and waking up at around, like if you're an office goer, 7 o'clock. Most people wake up, I believe. But the thing is, for a lot of people, especially if your work is not about like that 9 to 5 scheduled kind of work, especially this, I've seen this a lot with a lot of business owners. You don't have to like specifically go to the office exactly at 9 o'clock. Or maybe it's up to your shift time. Even if you're doing a 9 to 5, 9 to 5 doesn't mean exactly from 9 o'clock to 5, right? A lot of people have later afternoon shifts or something. Like imagine, like if your shift at work is from 1 o'clock towards whatever 9, the whatever, like during the till night, or if you have a night shift, like that is not a good idea. Like that is all I'm saying is you should be aware that if you're someone who's working the graveyard shift, you're you will be depressed, or you'll be not mentally stable after a while. Or even if you are, that's because, like you might say, no, I work the graveyard shift, but I'm mentally stable. That's great, but it just means that you have a lot of potential within you, but you're killing a lot of potential by working at the night shift. I mean, fair. Like maybe you're stuck with that. Maybe you have to do it. That's understandable. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just making a commentary. This is just me. Think of me as a commentator, and I'm commenting on things. This is my comments, my judgment, my perception on things, my personal biases about things. So these are all my own prejudices, if you will. If you want to take it in the most negative way, these are my prejudices against different things. Like this on the subject of working in night shifts, my personal opinion is that it's not a good thing to do. You're hurting yourself if you think you're stable. Yeah, it's a fine thing you're doing. Yeah, because you have gotten used to it. But all I'm saying is that there's a lot of lost potential in that. You can work night shift because you're drinking coffee or smoking cigarettes. I don't feel like a lot of people can work night shift, especially a lot of older people. The older you get, you will be dependent on nicotine and caffeine, highly dependent. Nicotine or caffeine dependency, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. It's not. Like I used to think recently it is. But all I'm saying is there will be problems with your health in the long run. There can be. I'm not saying different people have different genotypes. I guess I'm not sure if that's the most accurate word that I'm using here, but different people have different genetics, and a lot of people I these days I see all these content on social media where people talk about how they are a night person. Like everybody doesn't have to be a day person. So there's a thing such as a night person or a day person. I personally don't know because I tend to I have a tendency of staying awake during the night and falling asleep during the day. Mm, The reason being that during the night everyone else is sleeping. So what happens is it gives me the opportunity to reflect on my own life and spend time by myself because I'm someone who uh, is someone who's not a very sociable person because I'm like those geeks, those nerds who likes to ponder upon things, like scientists who would rather spend their entire day in the laboratory experimenting with different science stuff than be social and try to socialize with people. I'm that kind of a person. I'm a scientific minded person. So yeah, like ideally, as far as like career is considered, I should ideally be a like college professor or something like that because I like to preach a little bit, but my domain or the things that I like to talk about is philosophical. It's like a mix of philosophy and logic and science stuff too. But it's all about like me trying to understand different aspects of life, me trying to understand people, uh, which is why I kind of refrain myself from calling myself an antisocial, because that would mean that I am an introvert, but I'm not really an introvert in the most traditional sense. Like introverts are people who don't like talking to other people. But I'm like I want to talk to people, but it has to be worth my time. Like I feel like I cannot just if I yap about random stuff, it just feels a waste of my time. So that's why I like to make videos because it's like if you want to watch, you watch it. If you at least I'm not bothering anyone with the things that I want to say. Uh, but I think that's YouTube and social media and content creation is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good way for people. There are a lot of people who want to talk about a lot of things, but you need the right audience, right? So, like, if I see, I can talk about all these things to the people I know in my life, but they'll be bored because they're not interested in these stuff, which is absolutely understandable. The universe is about diversity, right? So there are different kinds of people. So YouTube or something like YouTube or Spotify is a great place where you can uh, just talk about different things, and your videos or your content will reach, your podcast will reach to the people who want to listen to them. Ideally, that's what should happen, but that's not really what's happening. Like that, there's something that's blocking it. Like, give me a second. I need to take a sip of water. So what's blocking it is, and I don't know why. Like, especially on YouTube, I see this problem. I feel like there are many people on YouTube who are making really good in the so YouTube is supposed to be personalized, right? There's no thing like good content or bad content. It's about whoever likes whatever. So, for example, no, forget example. Like for example, take this video of a random person talking about random stuff on YouTube. This should ideally have a target audience. And if the YouTube algorithm was more, I would say, aggressive, then it would be better for a lot of young creators, like not young, I mean, yeah, small creators who are starting out on YouTube. It is, it would be much easier for their content to spread across and find the right audience, which I believe Instagram does really well. When I watch Reels or Instagram, I'm often surprised, like, how did the Reel know that this is, I feel like, damn, this feels like it's made for me. Because I don't know how it works, the Instagram algorithm, it's like so good at spreading. Maybe because those are short content, and short content is generally good at spreading properly. But in YouTube shorts, like, there's a difference. Like, YouTube shorts I never find relevant. I just feel very generic YouTube shorts thrown towards me. But when I watch Reels on Instagram, I feel like they're very curated and very personalized content. Like, it feels like this was made for me. I don't know why that difference exists. I mean, the YouTube algorithm is it is supposedly, it should be good, but YouTube, maybe because they want to focus on quality, they will very slowly spread content. Actually, I don't, even if YouTube admits or not, for small creators, their content actually doesn't spread that well. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of small creators who have the potential for their content to, like, there are people waiting for that exact content, is all I'm saying. Like, but YouTube for some reason will not, I mean, on YouTube, like, I know this because I you know how YouTube works. Like, if you watch a creator once and they're like a big creator, YouTube will just keep suggesting their content to you. But what about the million other creators who are creating really it's not really about high quality. People talk about, like, create high quality content. What is high quality? It's all personalized. Someone is looking for something, other person is looking for other things. Different people are looking for different things in life. So why do I have to watch Mr. Beast? I just don't get it. Like, because I watched Mr. Beast one or two of their videos, that doesn't mean that I'm infinitely interested in all of whatever Mr. Beast is uploading on YouTube. Maybe once I wanted to check out, okay, this guy is really a big YouTuber. I want to watch one or two of their videos, but that doesn't mean that I want to watch all of their videos. I want variety, right, in my feed. So I don't know. As a viewer, I get confused. Like, YouTube has so much potential. Maybe because of advertisement they want to be remain advertisement friendly for that reason. Like, there's also so much stuff, like, you can say this or say that. Otherwise, like, the YouTube algorithm suppresses your video if you say the wrong things. So all I'm saying is, like, there are like, whenever you are making content, especially for YouTube, there's this issue, like, people don't get their content spread out that well. Now, the thing with Spotify, like, I also like, I haven't uploaded yet, but I'm I'm planning to upload my content on YouTube as well as Spotify because I want to make podcasts really. I'm not really interested in making videos. I just want to make podcasts. I want to record podcasts like at least for now. Like I'm not entirely sure. Like this is something that I'm genuinely interested in. This is something that I was initially when I was starting out on content creation. I was quite interested in making podcast style videos, like basically podcast. I was interested in podcast, but then I saw that this competition in the podcast market because everybody's recording a podcast, but the competition is there is something that we are missing here. People think there's competition on YouTube or in content creation, but it shouldn't be that way because different people have different tastes and different people are looking for different things. So I don't get the point of competition. If like it's like it's an art form, not exactly an art form, but all I'm saying is different people like it's the in the sense of the universe and in the spirit of the universe. Diversity is the spirit of the universe. So I just don't get the whole like people are when people say like there's competition. Why is there competition? There shouldn't be any competition. Well, why is the competition? Where is the competition coming from? So, for example, Mr. Beast. Ideally, Mr. Beast, maybe mainstream content does have competition because a lot of mainstream audience who is watching Mr. Beast, they will watch like there are similarity. Like there's nothing. What Mr. Beast is doing is not very unique. It's like flashy and viral kind of content. But there are people who are looking for more personalized, more curated content, right? Niche. You can say niche content, but unique, specialized. Like that is something I feel like a lot of people are really looking for, really unique and specialized content. And YouTube and content platforms, they should ideally recognize that and they should cherish that. Like they should give young people the opportunity. Otherwise, everybody is going to make gaming videos. If there's no incentive for a person to record quality, like curated, personalized content, then why would somebody make videos like this? Like I see, I like playing video games. I can make a gaming video. What's the point, man? Because if I know that if I play Roblox, I'm gonna get 1 million views, or at least 100,000 views easily. Like if you run a gaming channel, it's easier, much easier to get views. But I personally I feel it's very mind numbing to play Roblox. As an adult, if you're interested in Roblox as a kid, I get it. But as an adult, mature person, like I just don't feel like playing Roblox. I like playing video games from time to time. But there's also a problem with video games. Like you can, I feel like, I don't know, I'm not exactly too sure about this. Like I feel like sometimes you can get too lost in video games. Personally, I'm more of a movie guy. I don't play a lot of video games because as a child, didn't have, I was really interested in playing video games, but I didn't have a console or a high-end gaming PC as a kid. So I kind of missed out on the window of starting out on video games. But even as an adult, when I now have a gaming system, I can play high-end video games. I just don't, I'm not really that interested in video games as a mature adult. I'm more interested in culture. I'm more interested in talking about things. I'm interested in discussing and sharing my opinion and as well as listening to other people's opinion. Whenever I watch YouTube videos, I just go in the comments. I'm listening to the person. I rarely watch videos on the landscape. I watch and portrait. I go to the comments and I like to read. I like to read about other people's opinion. Like I want to know what other people think about something. So I love debates, discussions, opinion exchanges, the old school kind of stuff. I don't really like, being, just by yourself playing video games. That is fine. From time to time I do that, but I feel like it makes me feel so lonely. Um, loneliness is not about, like, these days people are very lonely, but I feel like people are lonely because people are not finding the right people to talk to. If we lived in an ideal world, we would have more like, how Omegle was a great website where people would come and interact with each other. Now people don't a lot of people don't know about this, but on Omegle, I used to go on Omegle when it was up. Uh on Omegle there was an option where you can chat with college students. Like, you have to verify with your college ID. If you have a college ID, you can enter that, and if you have a custom, basically it used to work with any custom email ID. You can get some random burner email ID on the internet, and you could use that for the college ID feature. And that way you could filter out a lot of junk kind of people. And because on Omegle, a lot of very mentally disturbed people used to come, and kind of, sick kind of people. But that college filter was really good at finding. So I had a chat. I used to chat with a lot of different strangers with really who had a genuine interest in talking to other person, meeting other person, which is what Omegle and sites like Omegle is ideally based on. But I don't know, for some reason people just abuse this kind of websites. Uh, but what I'm saying is, see, there is content creation, and that kind of applications are very common on the internet. But ideally, what I feel like in a healthy society, what should be more common is websites, high quality applications of websites like Omegle, where you can chat with random people, and they shouldn't be random actually. There should be algorithm that would determine that, yes, this is the kind of person you would be interested in having a conversation with, based on your taste profile, based on, like, they could get access to the YouTube watch history, for example. Like, why isn't there any app where you can talk to people? Like, Instagram can do it, really. If Instagram connects to two people who have the same watch history, like, they would love talking to the each other, because they would have the same case, so they would be very they would have a lot to chat about, you know so Instagram can do that, and it's not just for romantic purposes. You can make friends, high quality friends that way, like people who you are more compatible with, people who you like to talk to, in that sense. But there is not a lot of development on that kind of application, because I guess it's not very profitable. It's more profitable to keep you engaged as a viewer. Like, you are the viewer, I'm the person creating content, and there's no money to be made if there was community. And, like how these applications like Reddit and websites like Reddit, these are kind of the underdog of the internet. These are not mainstream, even though these applications promote community building and finding like-minded people. But for some reason, these Reddits, these are just the Reddit is just a place where geeks and nerds, bunch of nerds, go, and they just read what others have posted or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, there are some really great subreddits, but the thing is, there should be more of a Zoom platform where people can gather different people, and not only one or two people. There should be group conversations where people from different, which actually Twitter is trying to do. Twitter, X, now it's called X. So what they're trying to do is they have this Twitter Spaces where it's essentially random Zoom call, but with only the audio feature, which is actually a great thing. I feel like that's such a good thing for community building. Like, you can go on, like, start and space, Twitter Spaces, it's called, right? And you can go there, and you can just find like-minded people. They will come in, join in live conversations, which is a great thing, right? So what I'm saying is, like, the current capitalistic scenario of the world is, like, especially when it comes to digital products, content creation platforms, it's all about, like, yeah, making content so that people can come in and I feel so bad to say this, but kind of get hooked, addicted to someone's content and then watch them because they're addicted to it and they don't have anything better to do. Like most people who watch Mr. Beast videos, like maybe not Mr. Beast. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But in general, like there's a problem. Like people watch a lot of like how this term emerged, brain rot content. The people watch a lot of these brain rot kind of content, which they get no joy out of, but they're watching it because they have nothing better to do. And I just feel so sad that this is a state of the world. But people just have to watch some people are just randomly watching other people say random things. Or not say random things. Like they're actually not watching people talk anymore. Like most people are just come on YouTube to watch a really stimulating content with a lot of edits and cuts, something that's designed to keep you engaged. That doesn't mean that it's going to provide any value. It's just they those content they're being just created to keep you engaged. They don't those content creators, believe me, I've tried making all those videos. I just didn't couldn't come to the point of making those kind of flashy editing, highly edited, those kind of crazy edit videos because reason being that I just feel like it's so brain numbing. It's just so soul killing because I know that if I'm going to make a video that's very flashy and very uh, heavy, edit heavy video, then it will create a video that is, first of all, I will be so disappointed that I'm making such content because I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it. If I make a video that's like filled with really flashy editing and something that's created with the intention to keep the audience hooked. I wouldn't even want to watch it. I will be making, at that point, I'll be making those content and treat them like content. Like how, how the word content is such a cheap word to use. Like, oh, I'm making content. What are you talking about, man? So you make something that you want people to watch and you're about the views and the watch time. You don't care about spreading any value, really. You're creating content, like how people say, right? It's so disgusting. I find it like you tell that you're making videos and you're making uh, videos for I would rather prefer that people say like, yeah, I'm making high quality videos for YouTube. That's fine. Like people say how people say like, oh, I'm making content. What are you talking about? You know what that word content means? Content means something that's designed with the psychological mindset that like with the mindset that I'm gonna keep this person hooked because I know how human psychology works. I know that if there are more edits in the video, if there is a cut after every 6 seconds or there's a cut after every not even 6 seconds, every few seconds there's cuts, there's a shift in camera angles, and there's some burst of some music from here, some burst of music from there, some random scenery change to an AI generated visual that will keep the audience hooked. And why do I want the audience to be hooked? Because I care about nothing but money. And sure, uh, uh, people do that. People earn money. I get it, but it's such a you know. At that point, I don't think anybody's alive anymore. Like when people are making videos, people, if you're making videos just for money, like the authenticity goes to garbage. I'm all about the money. And after making money, if there's something like if I can, I have this at the back of my head, I know that, oh, I made this video about spreading cancer awareness, which is great. I get that. Like if you edit a video and which is about spreading awareness about cancer or some societal issues that, like even like this video, if I edit this, add a lot of visuals and stuff, I get that. It's more stimulating. It's going to get a lot of views and I can pat myself in the back. I kind of can brainwash myself and tell myself that, yeah, I edited the videos. Yeah, I want to get more views. But hey, I'm making this video is positive because I'm giving such positive message to society. But there's something that's lost. Like there are things which people can lose when you're that, which is the problem with rational thinking. You can rationalize any action, really. You know how the Nazis, when they were ruling Germany, when the Nazis, as an example, I'm just using this as an example, when the Nazis were ruling Germany, when the Nazi regime was there in Germany, do you think those people were saying like, yeah, we are a bunch of evil people and we want to do evil in the world? Uh, no. People, even Nazis, they think like they're doing really good things. My point is like everybody thinks like they're doing something good, and it's very easy to rationalize your actions. But just because you're able to rationalize something, that doesn't mean that you can ignore that silent person at the back of your head. At the back of your head, there's that silent observer that is watching everything and that knows, which is your higher self, and it knows that there's something wrong about it, but it's just so mute. The higher self, the problem with the higher self is that it doesn't have any voice. It just doesn't. The higher self is always mute, and you just have to be conscious enough and aware enough to be able to see like, oh, here's the problem, I see it now. But you cannot show it to people. Everybody has to see it for themselves, like, because the higher self um is there for everyone, but they have to see it. Everybody has to see it for themselves, otherwise it doesn't work in any other way. So um like I now the thing is, so what, am I holier than thou? Am I above everyone else? Like, I'm this person. I think like Mr. Beast is such a fool making flashy videos to get views, and I'm above Mr. Beast. Absolutely not. To be honest, and I talked about this in my previous episode, I told very explicitly that I don't trust myself at all. Like, if I'm like, let's say if somebody offers, let's say somebody, let's not constantly throw Mr. Beast under the bus because he's popular. Um, let's say someone offers me a lot of money, and they say like, yeah, you have to make really b- brain rot kind of content. But hey, I'm offering you, let's say a lot of money. Let's say $1,000 per video. You make a 10-minute video, you edit it, and you have to really throw a lot of garbage editing into it. Like, garbage editing in the sense that editing that's designed to keep you hooked and nothing else. Like, I don't give a shit what it does to your mental health, or I don't care what it does to you on a spiritual level, or yeah, like, I don't care if it makes you a better person. I just want you to watch the entire 10 minutes of the video that I upload, and someone tells her, yeah, you have to make people watch so that we can get more watch time. Yeah. So they just tell me like, yeah, we're gonna offer you $1,000 for every video that you make. I'm gonna be, yeah, I will be on a pedestal. I will be really it will be really difficult for me to deny that. Like, I'm being honest. I just want to be honest. Like, how a lot of people these days I see on YouTube, like, they don't want to promote any, like, they say like, yeah, we got offered, a lot of companies came to us and they wanted to sell their scammy products, and like, they were paying us money to sponsor their product, which we all know that it's not good for you, health wise or mental health wise, or financially maybe it's risky. Some betting products, betting apps and websites, or betting games, where you bet money, where you like gambling apps and websites. There's this trend, like, people say like, yeah, see, I turned their money down because I'm a good person. um I seriously appreciate that, but on the same, how people like Shah Rukh Khan, these Indian celebrities who promote tobacco products, they get like ostracized, not ostracized, I don't know if ostracized is the right word. Like, they get people uh put them in a bad light for promoting gambling applications or tobacco products. Now, I'm not saying that I justify the promoting tobacco product, just to make myself clear here, because on the internet these days, it's crazy. You have to be very clear about what you want to say. And my point is that I'm saying that if I'm offered a lot of money to promote gambling apps or gambling websites, I don't know if I honestly I don't know. I don't think I'm so mature or so woke enough yet, or awakened enough yet to say no to, yeah, I don't want to promote gambling products. I think that human beings are have a very corruptible nature. Human beings are very easy to corrupt. I am very easy to corrupt, honestly. I've been corrupted a lot of times. I just get corrupted and then come out of corruption. Because if you watch a lot of my older videos, like not older, like more recent videos, I have made a lot of videos which are not very woke, which are lower consciousness videos, like which were made for the purpose of getting quick views and making quick money and more viral friendly videos. It's just me playing video games, which, like, I don't know if you could tell, like, I was not really enjoying making those videos. For example, something like this. Like, I feel I wouldn't say I'm right. For example, right now that I'm recording this podcast, I won't say that I'm like uh enjoying, like I am enjoying, but let me be very clear because this is a very sensitive thing that I'm going to talk. I feel like I'm putting myself here. So I need to be very clear on this. I'm enjoying, but it's not like uh, I'm, it's like I would, maybe there are things that I would enjoy doing more, but this is giving a more of a spiritual satisfaction to me. Like it's more food for the soul kind of thing. Like after I publish this on YouTube and also the Spotify, I will be more satisfied that yes, I'm happy that I made something that's more meaningful. This is more meaningful to me. But that doesn't mean like I am like 100% enjoying making this podcast, which a lot of people don't understand about, like passion. People talk about you should be passionate about what you do, but passion is something that I guess is also something that you can develop for something as long as you find it meaningful. Now, you have to apply your own intellect and not intellect, your own intelligence, and try to understand what I'm saying here, because I don't think I'm in the right place mentally to be able to explain, or I'm not in the proper communication track to exactly explain what it means. Like when I say that you can develop passion as long as you are um, making something meaningful. I guess even if you are someone like Mr. Beast. Now, I don't know Mr. Beast personally. Like I know him as a public figure. But I like, for a person who is getting into content creation, I can only hope that um I can only hope that they even if they're making some content with a lot of flashy edits and a lot of quick cuts, they should be interested, or at least they should feel like at the end of the day, it's for your soul. I'm saying for your soul. I'm not saying for your wallet. If you make content that is very viral worthy, a lot of people are gonna watch. That's great. But your content should also be like, if it's soul draining, you can make a lot of content. It's just like work. You can do like, you know you can be a drug dealer. You can be a cocaine, heroin, fentanyl. Let's say you're a person who is the owner of some. You are some in the cartel business in Mexico, and you're making these drugs like cocaine and heroin and fentanyl. You're earning a lot of money, right? But you have no soul. All I'm saying is, like, if you have no soul but all the money in the world, that it just feels, and I've been there, like, because not because I'm a fentanyl dealer or a cocaine dealer, but I have been there because like through meditation and spiritual practices, I've had some glimpses. I mean, that is basically living in hell. Like when you're not connected to your higher self. Uh, See, you cannot do ungodly things when you're connected to God. Like God, by God, I mean your higher self, basically. When you're not connected, when you're disconnected from your higher self, you like no. Let me sentence that properly. Like let me make that sentence proper. uh, the proper way to say it would be when you're when if you want to do something that will get you a lot of money, and you're not talented, you don't have any talents, but you still want to make a lot of money, you can do some really shady, dirty stuff, manipulate people, trick people, deceive people, and you can make a lot of money doing that. But in order for you to be able to do that successfully, like say sell some fake product as a business, marketing them as like yeah, some good lucrative product, uh, some random stuff like with just focused on a lot of marketing to get the people hooked, and then they will buy it. Yeah, you can do that, but as a result, you will turn into a person who is very disconnected or from his higher self. All I'm saying is you cannot be a butcher and expect to be enlightened, an enlightened person who cuts the throat of animals. A butcher. If you are a butcher, you cannot be a butcher with a soul. I mean, I have never like I. So the thing is, now here some maybe some irony, or I don't know. You can say not irony, but some hypocrisy, maybe you can say, that I eat meat. Okay, as a matter of fact, I love eating meat. I enjoy eating meat, but I know that in order for me to eat meat, someone has to murder the animal. Someone has to cut the animal's throat, right? Otherwise, how am I getting that KFC? Those were chicken. There were like, somebody had to slit, or even if let's say a person is not doing it fine, you can get into your slaughterhouses. They're doing it by machines. Fine, I get it. Oh, but still, there is some kind of darkness attached to, like that's why there's this entire vegan awakening movement going on, right? People don't want to eat meat anymore because, like, yeah, it's not good for the environment, which is one thing, but also there is also that sentimental thing attached, right? People don't want to eat meat. It's not sentimental because there is so much suffering involved in the production of meat, so much bloodshed. I mean, bloodshed. I mean, when you buy chicken, your chicken, there's blood all over the chicken, right? Like that's not good. I mean, if you're the more conscious you are, you realize that that's just quite ugly because we are evolved, right? But here's the hypocrisy, like me being so hypocritic. Like I just want to be transparent. I just want to don't hide in anything. So if I'm being transparent, then yeah, I eat meat every day, every single day. And because that's my food habit that I was born into. And I cannot say that I'm satisfied. It doesn't give me any, like when I think about it, it bugs me. But I'm not just it's just not so easy. Like people say, yeah, so if you don't like me, just go vegan. People don't realize it's not so easy to become a vegan. Like one certain day you become a vegan. It's not so easy. Especially if you were eating meat all your life. It's just not so easy to make that switch. Plus there are different reasons. Like I cook, okay? I don't live with my parents. I cook, and so I don't buy food. Like I can buy if I want to be vegan, I probably have to buy a lot of food, cooked food. Like I have to go to some shop, some restaurant, buy, and that will increase my monthly budget. Like not budget, monthly spendings. So that will increase. Like it'll make my lifestyle more expensive. Is all I'm saying. So I just don't want that. Like it's cheaper for me to cook food, and like I can't, like I'm right now I'm very more of on a carnivorous diet. Like I eat chicken every day. I drink coffee, and I have milk with this thing with oats. I like milk with oats which is like healthy, but I don't eat any fruits or vegetables. And that's actually very bad for you. I mean, I don't have a balanced diet, because of which I actually take multivitamins. I generally take the Centrum. There's a Centrum for men that's like no sponsor or nothing. I like the product. Uh, they have this like what should I say? Like the formulation is so good. Like those pills, well, if you take one a day, you have essentially all the micronutrients going into your body. So that kind of covers up for the lost nutrition, because I'm not eating any vegetables and nuts on. I'm not eating almonds or walnuts or sprouts or vegetables. I eat eggs. Eggs is very nutritious, by the way. Milk and egg. Milk is nutritious. Milk has a lot of nutrition. But green vegetables and fruits, those are cannot be neglected. And even nuts, walnuts, and peanuts, or different kinds of nuts, raisins, nuts. They cannot be dry fruits. They're called, right. Yeah, they cannot be neglected. Uh, but recently, so I was thinking, like, why do I even have to eat vegetables and fruits? Like, I can just buy a Centrum, that kind of, or for a matter of fact, any a high quality micronutrient supplement, and I can just pop one pill, and that pill has everything, all the micronutrients in it. They have also a lot of minerals, high quality minerals, even has calcium. And different minerals. It even has iron. So a lot of the essential micronutrients you are getting. If you buy a good micronutrient supplement, you're getting your micronutrients through the supplement from it. Excuse me a second. I just want to have a sip on my water. So yeah, the micronutrients, they are, you can get that through supplements. But I was recently reading, like, you don't get a lot of phytonutrients. Like, I was like, oh my God, there's also phytonutrients and antioxidants and fiber. Those are three terms that my mind caught on: phytonutrients, antioxidants, and fiber. They are very important, especially fiber, or maybe all of them. I don't know, but fiber seems to be like more. I have heard more about fiber than I recently heard phytonutrients. And antioxidants I also knew. But I know that through coffee, if you drink coffee, you get a lot of antioxidants. If you drink tea or coffee, you get antioxidants through that. But these phytonutrients, is kind of I heard that term before, but it's just that I heard that again recently. So that's kind of, those things are important. They were saying, like, I was reading there, they were saying, like, you don't get all the phytonutrients and the fibers and antioxidants that comes with whole foods. And it was also saying, like, um the like the current science is not still able to understand, like, all the things. Like, maybe we are getting a lot more essential substance micronutrients and stuff from different whole foods. Like, if like, for example, if I like I'm getting these B and C supplements, B complex and vitamin C, this one. uh I'm actually doing this for this month. Like, what I do is, I'm off the, like, I don't know if you know this, but there are two types of vitamins. One is water soluble, and one is fat soluble. Now, the water soluble vitamins, they you need to take them every day, because your body doesn't store them for whatever reason. I mean, so much for evolution, but our body has not been able to evolve to store um, a water soluble whatever nutrients. Some evolution, I will say. But yeah, that's the reality. It's like water soluble vitamins, which are basically all the B vitamins, the B complex, different B vitamins, and the vitamin C. Those are the two types of, not two, B complex and C vitamins, those are water soluble. You need to take them every day, because even if you take a lot of them, your body will not store it. It's gonna excrete out of your urine. Like your body's gonna let it go through your urine. So you have to take them every day, and that they're very essential, especially all of them. Vitamin B, it have B complex and C vitamins. They're very essential for the healthy functioning of your brain and your body. Now, the other vitamins, A, D, E, and K, these are the remaining rest of the vitamins. They are your fat soluble vitamins. How they differ from water soluble is that when these vitamins get uh, taken up by the body, absorbed by your bloodstream, like enters your bloodstream, they're used on a daily basis, but whatever excess remains, they get stored in the form of fat. Like these are fat soluble, they get stored in your body's fat. So they can get into the reserves. Your body can store these. And let's say, so you don't have to, like, if you get a lot of vitamin, as an example, if you get a lot of vitamin A from some supplement or whatever, some food source, on one day, then your body will store them, and then you don't need them every day. Is all I'm saying. Like the water soluble vitamins, which you need to consume every day, because your body will just excrete the extra vitamins. So the thing is, now there was this interesting thing I came up with when I was doing my research on this water soluble and fat soluble micro these vitamins. Is that if you take what I'm doing with Centrum, right? With I'm taking supplements. Like if you take a lot of these supplements, like these fat soluble ones, they will get stored in your body, and there's a point where it can like it potentially, it didn't say like it's a very common thing, but there's a risk of poisoning because of over accumulation of these vitamins. I mean, your body needs them, but if you overdo them, like they're gonna accumulate, and because of this accumulation, there's gonna be poisoning, which is not good. Like now, it did say that doesn't happen that often, but all I'm saying is like, so because I read that, I got into this, like I felt like, damn, maybe I shouldn't do fat soluble vitamins all the time. So what I do is I take fat soluble, all the vitamins, water soluble and fat soluble, which is there in the Centrum Men tablet. I eat them one pill a day, and it rejuvenates my body of all the essential vitamins and minerals. Now the water soluble ones get excreted. That's not a problem, but the fat solubles accumulate right in your body. Vitamin A, D, E, and K. They get accumulated. The fat soluble ones. Now I take a break. Like after 30 days, I just stop taking Centrum, and I just switch to something like this one, like any B complex and C, any water soluble supplement, which will only give me vitamin B and vitamin C, which is the water soluble, because you need water soluble every day. You cannot stop taking water soluble vitamins. So I am doing that so that I don't get that risk of over accumulation of all your fat soluble vitamins. Let's see. I don't know how that will work out eventually, but at the end of the day, from my research, I just concluded that anyways, it's just the ideal scenario is you don't take supplements. The ideal scenario is you just take your water soluble and not water soluble, your micronutrients. Nutrition should be done from natural sources. Period. That's the end of the day. That's the ideal thing to do. Like supplements, I take supplements because I have to cook, like I was talking about earlier. If I don't take supplements, I have to cook different kinds of food. I have to take because I can buy, maybe I can do that, sure, but it's just better to even if I buy, I have to buy different kinds of food. I just feel like if you supplement, it's cheaper. It is cheaper, and it's also quite effective. Like because I don't need to worry about eating different kinds of food, because I don't have I have other things to do. Frankly speaking, I can I spend a lot of my time um, watching different content, listening to different podcasts. To like, I spend a lot of time listening to different news sources, trying to understand what's going on around the world, because I like to have a broad perspective on life. Because that is what is interesting to me. Now, I don't have a lot of time to cook different food, because first of all, there's a learning curve. But hey, I'm working towards it, and I think I can do that. Like, I can work towards maybe in the next 5 years or something. I will be I will be cooking. Like, I will be getting all my micronutrients through natural food sources, which should be good. Uh, but yeah, for now I'm like more dependent on supplements because it's easy. Like, we live in a fast pace. We all, most of us who live in big cities. Excuse me, I need to. I get a dry throat. I need to drink water. Just give me a second. And I'm not cutting the portions out because I can do it easily. Because anyways, after I record this video, I just don't upload it directly. What I do is I record the audio through a different mic source, and I have this smartphone that I use as a camera. But I delete the audio track of the audio that's recorded through the microphone of the phone, the smartphone that I'm using to record, and I just throw in the track that is recorded. No, I first basically, I clean the track using AI software to remove all, because there's a lot of background noise. You cannot hear them because I cleaned it using AI. But after that, I just like to and so what I'm saying is, anyways, I have to edit. It's not like, this is not like I just record it, I upload on YouTube. I wish it was that easy. But I'm right now not in that privileged spot to do it. And that's not a big deal for me because I have a decent computer which can do this kind of processing quite fast. And it takes not a lot of time to do it, to clean the audio and then attach the cleaned audio. I do a lip sync. Like, I manually I do a lip sync. So sometimes, I don't know, you might feel like the video is a little out of sync. I don't know. In some of my previous videos, I feel like they were. Uh, I try to sync it to the possible, like, to make it more perfect. But anyways, the thing is, like, uh, what I was saying is, like, yeah, the point I was trying to make is, like, I anyways have to edit, but I can easily cut out those portions because I can see on the audio track, if there's no noise on the audio, I can see that that portion is silent. I can remove that portion, but it's just, why not leave it there? I mean, I just don't understand. Like, can people, will that deter people for that 2 second if I don't cut that portion? It just, I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, like, this is how I think about things. Like, I feel like if I want to maintain that raw authenticity, it has to be continuous, right? So, yeah, that is what I was the things that I talked about today. And this is another unprepared, raw, like, podcast episode, which I hope you like listening to. It's more about listening. There's nothing to watch here. It's a podcast episode, so it's all about listening. And as time goes by, I'll feel like, yeah, maybe this is how I need to speak. Like, the whole speaking, it has a flow and there's a way of speaking that, like, it's like delivering a lecture, like a college professor. That's an art, right? You have to you have to gain mastery. The more you do it, the just with practice, I'm sure I'll be able to make like better speech, like, continuous. I can keep the rhythm. I know the flow can improve. And even, like, my English has become a lot worse recently because I don't speak English. So that's the thing. I don't speak. That's not my native language. So I don't get a chance to speak a lot of English. Like it's much easier. It would be super easy actually if I speak spoken English and talk to people in English more. Then the flow of my speech would be much better. But hey, I mean, I'm speaking here, right? So I guess that's fine. But yes, so those are the things. And recently, like I was, out of nowhere, like randomly, I guess I can say, like, oh yeah, and recently I'm more into working out. I'm not a big workout guy actually. Like, I would say lazy, but even though I guess I am lazy as a person, I'm very lethargic. But I am getting into working out in the sense cardio, like basically jogging and light running, brisk walking, that kind of stuff. But it actually is necessary. I mean, going out, the wind is blowing in your face and you're breathing in more intensely when you're working out. I feel like that breathing is very essential when you work out, and your skin actually becomes cleaner. Like your skin exfoliates a lot of toxins, maybe not toxins, like a lot of waste material from your body gets secreted out from the sweat glands, and your skin becomes cleaner. Your skin appears to be more healthy if you work out more. So I'm a big workout fan. I'm turning into a big workout fan recently. Now, I was struggling with this whole, like, I used to drink coffee. I still drink coffee. Uh but I used to get like all this anxiety and stuff. But actually, lately what I'm realizing is that if you treat coffee as a, I don't know if it will work for everyone, but for me at least it's working for now at least. Um Seems to be working, is that if you treat coffee as a pre-workout drink, that is what I do now. I drink coffee and before my workout, and then I just go for my light running, jogging, brisk walking, whatever you want to call it. Um, I do that. I use the Google Fit app. I'm kind of a Google fanboy. I like Google apps. So I use that, but I think Google Fit is a very good app. It has gives you hard points. Like if you use that app, if for every minute of moderate to intense activity, it gives you one hard point. And if you get like, it's calibrated in a way that at least it says that according to the American Heart Association, like if you get 150 hard points from the Google Fit app, it's actually helps you live longer, sleeps, it helps you sleep better, and boosts your mood. That is exactly what it says on the app, which is actually good. Like, no, it doesn't matter if you use the Google Fit app or not. All I'm saying is working out is important. Working out, especially outdoors, exposed to the sun, maybe not the very hot sun. Like if you're living in a place where it's very hot, and it's in the noon, the sun is like burning on your skin. Maybe that's, but that can be more damaging for you. I mean, forget about being good, it can be actually more damaging. So what I was saying is about workout, but during daytime, but when the sun is not burning your face. I mean, I guess sunlight exposure is very important, but it has to be a moderately intense sun, let's just say. I mean, the sunlight absolutely shouldn't be like very strong. It's actually, you can get skin cancer. I mean, if you're exposing yourself to very hot sun, that's not good. But the sunlight, especially if you're living in a hot place during the summers, if the sun, it's like 7 a.m. sun or 8 o'clock in the morning sun, or after 4 p.m. during the afternoon sun, that kind of sunlight is good. It's good for you. It's good. Not just because of vitamin D. People think that sunlight is about vitamin D, but I guess sunlight is more than that, which is why staying awake during the day is more rejuvenating, it's more vitalizing. And the vitality of the sunlight, because it's the original source of all energy, right? how does energy come to your body? The sunlight is the original source of energy. The plants, they cook their food through the sun. And then the animals, they eat the plants. And then you eat the plants as well as the animals. So all I'm saying is sunlight is the original source of all energy. And that's the science. That's not even opinion. That's just pure science. Um, but yeah, so working out and staying healthy, which I used to neglect a lot. I used to think like, yeah, all I need to care about is my mental health. So I used to just meditate and not work out at all. But lately I'm realizing your physical health is important because your physical health is linked to your mental health. The mind, body, it's not disconnected. It's all same, right? So working out is very important. It's important for staying healthy. And which I was talking about in the something that I was talking about in the beginning of the video is like if I face the sun, like if I like which I'm doing right now, I'm looking at the sunlight from coming from the window. There's a tree in front of my house too. I'm looking at it. I'm basically able to directly see the sky. I'm lucky in that sense because a lot of if you live in a city, you might live in a place where your complete sunlight is blocked. So in that situation, I would say like it's actually better to record videos outside, which I also think of doing. I think of making vlogs, but I think of making recording videos outside. Outside has a charm to it, not just charm. It has a some kind of a value, like you're recording something outside. But in India, to be honest, if you're living in a big city, this is kind of gets a little difficult to find a spot where nobody's gonna come and like because it gets a little weird. I have that phobia. I mean, come on, everybody does, I guess. Like because and people here are a little nosy. Like people like to listen in on other people's conversations, which is a big deterrent from me to make videos outside. But I can record, I guess, walking style videos where I talk about different things. I can do that. I can try that. But as long as it's authentic, like I want to maintain the authenticity. I just don't want to give up on the authenticity of the videos because I really want to make genuine, authentic videos. It's really important for me. So yeah, uh, and I'm recently I heard the word yapper. I mean, I guess that applies to me. I'm a big yapper, but I just don't like to talk about nonsense. I just don't like to yap about random shit. I I like to talk about something that's at least which I feel is I don't know about others is meaningful. I just want to talk about things that is potentially at least potentially meaningful. Now, even in my right mind, I don't know how meaningful whatever I'm saying I am because everybody is lost. Everybody is stuck in their perceptions. People are stuck in their biases. So yeah, I need to. I am trying. My goal is to make. I'm using the word content again, but such a cheap word. I don't like that word at all. Content, but I'm trying to let's say m- create material. That's at least. I think material is a better word than content. But yeah, I'm trying to create material that's more positive and not just positive, more authentic. It doesn't have to be always positive for me, yeah, in my opinion. I feel like people don't like to talk about negative things because people don't like to listen to negative stuff. But sometimes something that's perceived as negative, it's the truth. Sometimes in certain situations, some truth is bitter. The bitter truth is perceived as, oh, this guy is so negative. But no, somebody is maybe trying to talk about truth. Like how people say like there's so much negativity on the news. Actually, that's not correct. Like there's not negativity on the news. It's just that the news happens to be negative. That doesn't mean that the journalists or the news reporters who are covering that news, that doesn't necessarily mean that their intent is to cover negative stuff. It's just that our world is full of negative things happening all the time. Right now, for example, so many wars. Israel, Gaza, Palestine, that entire situation, the entire Middle East versus the Israelis. Then you have Russia Ukraine conflict. Then you have everywhere. There's conflict everywhere. And conflict leads to negativity. There's no positivity in conflict, right? So, well, you have conflict everywhere. India Pakistan tensions. You have USA versus the entire world. There's tension. So, and there has not been a time in this whole world, at least in the modern days, where there was no conflict. There's always happening something or the other in the world, something negative, something that's conflicting, that's conflict of interest and leading to negativity. So the but should does that mean so? Like I wonder, can't help but wonder, like if we are talking about things like you should not discuss negative stuff because there's someone burning smoke as like really polluting the air and it's getting in my throat. Yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is like if there's so much negative happening in the world, should we stop? Should we ignore all the negativity? Like at least that's the approach of many neoliberals. Neoliberals. That's all. Uh, yeah, for the young liberals, that's the approach for many young liberals. That let's not discuss the negative stuff. Let's just stay positive and discuss what's positive, the positive things that are happening in the world. But to be honest, right now, if and for the last after post pandemic, there hasn't been a lot of positivity that has been happening in the world. Like overall, there's an overall negative atmosphere of negativity. So, is it the right thing to do? Is that you ignore all the things that's happening in the world? Like, if something's happening on the news, shouldn't you be shouldn't you keep yourself informed? Is what I'm saying. Like, um, yeah, maybe I might be like now I'm not. I have some conflict of my own mind when it comes to that because when it comes to manifestation, and now I don't exactly sure how manifestation works, but I think like there's something to it. Like people say, like scientific minded people, they completely shun anyone who talks about manifestation. But it works in some mysterious ways, I guess. Because I observe, like, whenever I am more positive, my environment appears to be more positive. Maybe because I am more positive at that point and I ignore or I have overcome the negativity of my environment and I'm too focused on the positive and hence I ignore the negative. But it's still there. But this is speaking from a completely non-spiritual point of view, because in spirituality and non-duality, it's like everything that you think doesn't exist actually doesn't, like everything that you can't see doesn't exist because there's no objective reality, how spirituality says, right? So that is a completely different way. It's hard for me to put it into words. What just came to my mind? It's like I cannot be talking about the same thing in like if you observe world from a spiritual perspective, everything appears to be in a different way. But from a more non-spiritual and let's say human egoic mind perspective, things appear to be in different fashion, in different way. In a materialist mindset, that is, in the scientific materialist perspectival mindset. Yeah. So, in that scientific materialistic worldview, uh, if we take that approach, then the negative, then yeah, there in case of manifestation, like if we think of manifestation, yeah, this manifestation is very spiritual, the non-objective worldview, the subjective perspectival um, worldview, like where everything is perspective, and you know how the monks and the so-called awakened people they say, right? I have had glimpses into that, but I maybe because I'm not woke enough. Like I say, keep saying, right? I'm not woke enough because I have a feeling like I'm not woke enough. When you get woke enough, you can see things that the unwoke, for a lack of a better word, the unwoke people doesn't can't see. What you can't see, you can't see. What you can do about it. But you can develop the ability to see. That is what spirituality is about. So yeah. But I don't want to talk, what is it called? Like branch out into spirituality right now because it's maybe for another episode of the podcast. But yeah, I enjoy talking about different things. I enjoy sharing my uh, opinion on different things in the hopes that I get to hear the opinion on the same things that I talk about. Not expect, I hoped to hear the opinion of other people like you as the viewer, um, maybe in the comment section or through videos. Why not make, I don't understand why, maybe YouTube doesn't promote it that much, but there were times like where YouTubers used to diss each other, but I feel so bad. Like, why, like when rappers diss each other, why not just reply? Like, yeah, man, I saw your video and this is my reply to your video. Um, there should be more of a culture like that, like where you are replying to someone's video. That's a good culture to live in, I guess. The reply culture, that's more of a community oriented YouTube, or can be Spotify too, or any other platform. But YouTube is the dominant platform for making long form content. Again, content, long form material. I don't know, maybe there's not a better word for that, but content sounds so cheap, man. It sounds so cheap. Maybe videos is a better word. Long form videos, long form content. I just can't think of a other word because this word has kind of taken a place for itself, made a place for itself. It's very difficult to replace a word which is so um, commonly used, right? When a word becomes too popular, I guess it becomes very difficult to replace it with, even if it sounds cheap, it kind of makes its, excuse me, it makes its place, and it becomes difficult to just replace that word with something else. So yeah, that's the thing. Um, but yeah, content creation. Oh my God, I hate that word. Every time I say it and I hear myself saying that, I'm like, come on, dude, don't say that. That's like, that's worse than, no, I was gonna say something, uh, but but maybe not. Like I was gonna say it's worse than the N word, but that's like a weird comparison. Why would you even compare the two words? Anyways, please pardon and don't cancel me. I'm not even like begun. If I get canceled right now, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Anyways, I hope you yeah, I hope you like this kind of long form content. Um, but yeah, this is not really long form. This is not really out of the ordinary. It's just podcast, but it's just a solo podcast where a person talks about, it's like a radio show. It was more common back in the day. People used to talk about things, right? But these days, as a podcast, people are more interested in conversations, two-person talking about different things, that kind of podcast. That is good, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that's, I cannot say anything bad about it, honestly, but I don't really think, I don't have the setup right now for doing that. I just want to, and there's something like, sure, two-person talking to each other is the proper, like the generic way of doing a podcast, a two-person back and forth conversation, and you, the viewer, listening to the conversation. That's great. But what about the solo? If you're the solo person talking, there's some value to it, I guess. Like, if a person, yeah, when a person talks in a solo speech kind of manner, I guess a person can go deeper into conversations, because when this kind of solo podcast where people talk about different things, like for example what I'm doing right now, this is not prepared speech, obviously. This is like the flow of consciousness that, like, uh I recently read somewhere where writers use this free flow of consciousness. So I'm saying I'm just speaking my own consciousness out. I'm just flowing. This is this flow of consciousness. But yeah, and the flow, like what happens during a two-person podcast is that there's no flow. How can a person develop a flow if I speak about something for some time, and then the other person interrupts and interjects? But that's how the two-person conversation style works, right? There can be depth to it. I've done that. Like, I've not recorded anything, but I've had deep conversations with people. Is this a podcast? Like a really deep podcast is what? A deep conversation, but except there's the camera and the mic present there to record the whole incident. I don't have a lot of people who I know who would be willing to do that right now. But the thing is, yeah, there's value to it. There's value to everything. So um, I just want to make use of whatever I have right now, which is me, my intellect, my intelligence, my mindset, my ability to speak. Those are gifts, right? Like everybody doesn't have that. Like, so why not cherish it? I mean, I'm sure that not saying it to show off or anything. Like, I'm not trying to boast here. I'm not making a point. I'm just making an observation that, but not everybody can continuously speak for a long time. So it takes a certain aspect of the human ability, I would say. So yeah, let me just try and make something good out of it. Hopefully, I will, with your blessings. And yeah, and I know like this is very amateur at this point, but I'm gonna I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna grow and develop into better again, content creation, better content creation. Anyways, I was recently listening to not listening. I was listening to when I work out, I listen to some commentary, sometimes news sources in the podcast form, news podcasts, or sometimes, comedians, stand-up comedy. I just played in my headphones during workout, and I like listening to stand-up comedies during workout. That's a good commentary. And I was listening to Bill Burr. Bill Burr's podcast is I kind of find I don't find any solo podcasts. Every podcast that I think of is all about the two-person thing. At least there's two persons or a group of people that's present. They're talking about one thing, which is great, which is absolutely amazing. Because it's like facilitates the conversation, I guess. Um, but as compared to this monologue, because monologue style podcasts can get um a little boring. But what can a person do? I don't have anyone right now. But the thing is, you on Bill Burr's podcast. I don't know if you know, but he has a podcast. It's not super popular, um, but his hardcore fans listen to him, I guess, on the podcast. He just talks about his life, his personal life there. Well, because he's a celebrity, he gets there's that uh, likability to listen to him because he's a celebrity. If you're a celebrity, you're a famous person, people would want to listen to it, even if you don't have. That's how like human beings work. A lot of shallow people, they will just listen to famous people, even if they don't have anything really interesting to say. They'll just listen because they're famous. So there's some kind of a value attached to that being famous for some reason. But the thing is, yeah, I mean, Bill Burr's podcast is it's not a half bad. Like, I mean, it's good. I mean, but it's like if you're a fan of Bill Burr, you'll like it. But it's just a goofy podcast. It's not bad actually. It's a very good workout podcast. You are passive listening. If you're going to like, yeah, how people listen to podcasts, right? You go on a drive or whatever, you can listen to it. Which is why I think podcasts are great. Like, you can listen to each other, different people, conversations. That's all there is, man. Like, otherwise, we'll be living in a world which is completely meaningless. It's just stupid to live a life like that where people are just doing random things and get by, getting by. Um, yeah, it's just something to think about, I guess. And I feel like speaking is healthy. Speaking your heart out is healthy. If you're speaking uh, with the intention of saying something that you actually mean, like first now these days, like people can say things that they actually don't mean just for the sake of saying it, just for getting engaging the audience. You know how these news podcasts, they talk about things which they know that people want to hear, but it's like not always coming from the heart of the person who's speaking. It's just that they will say those things, and there are many podcasts like that where people talk about things, and they will talk specifically about those things which they know will get them more watch time and more views. Doesn't mean that they're always passionate about what they're saying, or that is exactly what they want to say, but it's just that uh, it's set with the mindset of getting view. Whenever you make like in the content creation, it's very popular. Whenever you uh, make any kind of video or content with the intention of getting views. I've done that a lot. I don't know, maybe, yeah, if I don't want to do it, but if I'm forced to, then I might do it in the future too, and I will sacrifice my soul like everyone. Like I say, I don't consider myself holier than thou. I don't think of myself like I'm this awakened person who is above everyone and now I have to live up to it. Not really. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm a little more conscious than most people, but that doesn't mean that I don't struggle with the everyday challenges of the human psyche, the human psychology. I fall into psychological traps all the time, but I feel like speaking my heart out is very healthy. I feel very healthy after doing uh because speaking, I guess, because before I used to do these podcasts, a lot of times I used to find myself talking to myself. uh I don't know if that's there's something wrong with that, but talking to yourself, I should like talking to myself in the sense that I used to voice out my thoughts. Yeah, this is just vent out my thoughts, like whatever that's going through my head. I should talk about it because I think that formulating your thoughts into speech is kind of like an audio journal, like how you know why people journal, they write things on their diary. I feel like I get more like happiness and satisfaction when I speak out my thoughts instead of jotting them down on pen and paper with pen and paper. That does something, but it's not as powerful as when you're speaking. So yeah, I mean, if I can use my speech for something valuable, why not do it? I guess, right? Anyway, so what's this mean recording for 1 hour? It shows 1 hour 14 minutes here on my phone. But yeah, I just want to maintain because if I have something to say, I'll say it, right? So, um, earlier I used to do this thing like, oh, I've been recording for an hour. I don't want to speak anything more. But if the consciousness is flowing, why not, right? I mean, as a viewer, you can always, right, stop the video. And if you're watching this on Spotify or something, you can just resume it onward. And so for some other time, on some other time, you could resume it, right? So that's something. But I was also going to talk about something else. Yeah. So movies. I am a big movie guy. I love watching movies, but these days, I don't know, man. Like the new movies that are coming out, I don't know. Hollywood is like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't want to make any comments, but I fail to connect to the modern movies anymore. Like, I was a big movie guy, still am, I guess, but it's just, I just feel that movies have become too fake. It's, I just don't, as an audience, I just can't connect to the movies anymore. There's so many movies I used to watch, but just as an audience, I recently watched that movie. What is that called? That movie about the pandemic. There was Pedro Pascal. He's in every movie now. But this guy, I keep forgetting his name. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, he was this. I forgot the name of that movie. Recently, I was watching that, and it's not good. I didn't like it at all. Like it's so bad. I forgot the name. I mean, honestly, genuinely, if that movie really gave me a good time, I would remember the name. I didn't. I don't remember the name because I didn't like it at all. But then they say that I remember the name of the director, Ari Aster. Like his previous movie before this, I think it's last year, was Beau is Afraid. I haven't seen it, but a lot of people say like, yeah, this is style of filmmaking. It's very starts out very normal, that becomes very chaotic or something. I haven't seen any of his film. Like the recent one is one that I saw, but before that, I Beau is Afraid I haven't seen. I I believe like his first blockbuster hit film was Midsummer, right? Midsummer. I didn't, for some reason, I didn't finish the film, but I like the premise. I don't know where that movie went from there, but Midsummer, that premise of that, the opening scene, I still remember it was that with that oxygen mask or something like, or I don't know, that poison mask. That was a poison mask or something, right? That somebody gets murdered and there's these young people. They go to Europe or Germany in Europe, right, where they um like eat these mushrooms and bliss out. They have a psychedelic trip out in the fields. It's so great. Like it was a good premise. I didn't get the time. I was just too occupied with other stuff. I didn't get the time to finish that film. But yeah, I still liked that premise, even though I haven't seen the entire movie. Even the recent one, the premise was good, but then the movie, I don't know what it became. So if that's a style of filmmaking, I don't know. Like, anyways, these days movies have become very, I don't know, out of touch with the audience. Like for example, the recent movie that came out with Brad Pitt, the Formula One racing film, right? That was like a movie. I like, hear me out here. Like that's a movie where I would say like the audience, like it completely resonated with the audience. Everyone loved it. I also enjoyed. I think it's a blast. It's a very entertaining movie. But it's a kind of a movie I wouldn't enjoy too much if I'm watching at home. Like, if that makes any sense. Like, I went out and I watched that movie in a theater, and that too in a Dolby Atmos kind of theater, where with good surround sound and everything. So there are some movies which you can enjoy only if the audio visual experience is like theater. I guess if some movies are just made to be fully experienced in the theaters. And if you watch it at home, especially if you don't have like high quality equipments at home, like I have a television, but I don't have any sound bar or surround sound, that kind of environment, which can at least simulate a kind of a movie theater environment. But audio is very important. People don't understand this. Audio is very important with the experience of watching a movie. You don't really watch a movie; it's more of an experience, an audio visual experience. That's what movies are. Um, so people oftentimes tend to neglect the audio, but it's important. But the thing is, these days movies, I guess it's a reflection. I feel like movies always are a reflection of the current state of a society. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I feel like now there is a segue where movies might become less popular and video games might become more popular. I don't know, right? There, because I feel like, so I like to play video games, but personally I don't think that there are a lot of good video games. To be honest, like I've played Grand Theft Auto 5. I've played a little bit of San Andreas, and I like the Tomb Raider series. I didn't haven't played Assassin's Creed that much, but in general I feel like there is a lot of aspects to video game making that has not been explored, and there's also a problem there, like with the entire video game industry. It's like it's true, it's, excuse me, the entire video game industry is too focused on making profits. I don't know, like for example there are some games, like indie games like Annapurna interactive games, type games, which are story focused, but it's not just story also, it's also about like the entire experience. Like it's hard to describe, but there is uh I feel like a lot of good games, like modern games especially, the like if you take the example of the Far Cry series, Far Cry 3 was so good, so good. But after Far Cry 3, every other Far Cry is just disgusting. Far Cry 4 is, maybe there's still something to it. Far Cry 5, well, what is there? There's nothing. Nothing really. Like I haven't played a lot of it, but I don't think there's like anything. Because otherwise it would have been popular, right? Only rock stars, like game companies like Rockstar, they still try to make video games with a story focus. But even they are lost in that money making machine. You know, the only reason why there was such a delay in the Grand Theft Auto 5, like they released it, has been more than 10 years that they released Grand Theft Auto 5. I think it's now 12 years. Grand Theft Auto has been released. It has been 12 years. They took so much time to release another to develop another Grand Theft Auto. It's honestly, I think, it's because of the money making machine. They were making so much money with the Grand Theft Auto 5. There, it's what is it called? The online version, where people just, which is absolutely meaningless and very mind numbing. Um, it's okay if you play it once in a while, but come on. Now that's the thing. These days, gaming is all about your competitive esports. It has become a competitive esports with you, especially with games like Call of Duty. Like especially the popular games are so bad. Like I can't for a second think like why somebody would spend so many hours playing something like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is one of the most popular video games of all time, but I just don't see the charm of it. I mean, what do you do? Just shoot. You just literally have a virtual gun and you aim, you point your, because a lot of people of Call of Duty they play on computer. You just shoot. You're just shooting people. I just don't get the charm of it. I mean, what is the story? There is story. Yeah, I know in Call of Duty there's story, but come on. All I'm saying is human beings are better than that. I mean, video games. See, these are all mediums: movies, video games. Other I talked about Omega, social media, YouTube. There are so many good mediums, but we have to use it for the overall benefit and development of humankind. Like, I'm not saying we have to, like I said, we have to use it, but it's more of like, I feel like it's so sad that people would rather play Roblox than playing a good game with good story or something. It's just, yeah. But then again, I get it. Like, I cannot blame the young people who are playing Roblox and Minecraft. The reason they are playing those games is because they're free. A lot of times they're free. Even though I think Minecraft is not free, but every other game which is Like something like the Call of Duty, or like, for example, recently they released a game, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. They released a video game version of the film, right? It has really stunning visuals, but you have to own a high-end console for that. You need to buy that game. And once you finish that game, if you want to play something else, you have to purchase that game as well. So gaming, I get it, is a very expensive hobby for most people. So because of that, I feel like, like most people just end up playing, especially most young people just end up playing maybe Roblox on their phone or some kind of random like bullshit game on their smartphone. But in this regard, I guess parents should be more conscious. Like, especially, I expect this from young Gen Z parents. I feel like parents should consciously enable the gaming habits, healthy gaming habits, I should say, of their young ones. Especially the Gen Z parents and the millennial parents. I hope and expect this from them. Like they will actually buy their children a good gaming console, and from time to time they will add some games into their catalog, which is good for their overall mental health and overall uh, yeah, mental health, basically, the gaming. Because gaming is not, people think, older people, especially the boomer generation, they think all video games are nasty and disgusting and bullshit. But it's not. Like, there are good video games, but it's just that a lot of good video games are, like a good, healthy video gaming habit can end up being expensive. It's like healthy foods. The more healthy, health conscious you are, the more you'll burn the bigger hole you're going to burn on your pocket, right? Being healthy is more expensive. Like, if you want to be the most disgustingly unhealthy person, you can get anything like some cheap junk food. You'll be eating some random street food every day, and that will be very pocket friendly. But in the long run, it will completely, I mean, completely damage your body. So it's kind of like gaming is also has that junk food kind of aspect to it. Like a lot of junk games are very cheap. Oftentimes they're free. Like you see games like Free Fire, and your these Call of Duty Mobile, or your random PUBG. These are free. You can play these games for free. So you feel like, yeah, I don't have the money, or why do I want to buy another game? You fall in this addiction loop of playing these random mindless, mind numbing. These are mind numbing games which doesn't provide any value at the end. Like, value in the sense, like, it's if you watch a good video, if you play a good video game, it should ideally fulfill the need of watching a good movie. It can, but I know movie is a different thing. Like watching a movie and the experience of watching a movie and the experience of playing a video game is very different. That's true, but at the same time, I can't help but wonder that they can be very like close to each other, if that makes any sense. Um, so yeah, those are some observations about the things I've been observing in my life lately. And by the way, comedy is so important. Like, I also uh I want to entertain and inform, not inform, like there's so much information available. I want to entertain and uh be a stimulant, but in a healthy way. I want to be a healthy stimulant, if that makes any sense, in the lives of people. But I feel like comedy is important, and the comedy is so good. Like, when I was the last few weeks, when I was deep in the, what is it called, the trench and the upper thing, I'm forgetting the terms. There's these two terms, like terms where, like, they how they describe it in physics class, in seismic waves or something, like in audio waves. There's this, the bottom up mountain and the upper mountain. The bottom one is the trench, something like that. Anyways, like I I am generally like I'm capable of being funny, okay? But it's just that my depression has I don't know. I've been going through a lot of stuff. Maybe it's just maturing, the process of maturing or something. But I will say this, that being funny and exposing, sorry, I think I spit or something. Exposing yourself to funny content, funny people, listening to stand-up comedies, or like in general, watching funny stuff. It's it's good for your soul. It's good for your entire mental being. But then again, I completely realized that when you're really depressed and you're really down, like it's like you have to be in a mentally healthy place to be funny. I used to think like when I will have a really down moment, when I'm experiencing a very negative moment, when it comes to being depressed and stuff, I'll just watch some stand-up comedy, or I'll watch a comedy movie, and it'll lift up my spirits. It doesn't work that way. It's like you have to have a healthy see, it's all about brain chemistry at the end of the day. If you have positive I said, positive flow of good chemicals, the happy chemicals, and positive, like good blood circulation in your brain, actually, then you will automatically inch in, not inch in, there's a word, a good way to describe this. You'll automatically get attracted, or you'll automatically maneuver yourself towards comedy, I guess, or towards funny stuff, or being funny, or whatever. So being funny and funny people, it's soul food, man. It's vitality. That's the point of life. It's to enjoy, laugh, be funny, say stupid shit, but at the end of the day, be funny and lighthearted and enjoy your life. That's the point, really. And I just want to facilitate that for more people, because I haven't been, like, I have seen some really dark times, not because of like a lot of, like, because of depression. It takes you down some darkness rabbit hole, and it's not good. It's very ugly. Feels like hell. I guess that's what hell is, like how they describe the biblical hell. I don't know, something fell off. Jesus. So man. Whoa. Anyways, that was something. I guess I edit that part out. I don't know. Something fell off. Oh my God. I'm getting the heebie jeebies here. But at the end of the day, I'll say, like, yeah, it's important to stay funny. Like, not stay funny. I completely lost my train of thought there. It's important to it's it's important to enjoy your life. It's not important, like it's pointless in a way, like if you're not enjoying your life. And your ability to enjoy your life is all about, at the end of the day, it used to sound very like mind numbing and dumb when I used to think of it this way, that all you are is a mental state. At the end of the day, your mental state, and that's what you are, really. You are your mental state, the current mental state. And that mental state is a result of the brain chemistry. Your current brain chemical state is the result of your current mood. If you're angry, because you have that kind of brain chemistry at that moment. If you're happy or really funny and you're really enjoying at the moment, it's because you have that brain chemistry at that particular moment. And I used to feel like really sad thinking like, am I really just brain chemicals then? But then I discovered some spiritual paths, which I guess gave a different perspective on that. I mean, gave different meaning to that. And I think that, yeah, I think it's important to embrace that your brain chemistry is all there is. And why not maintain a healthy brain chemistry? It's possible. It was much easier to do these things. Life was, in some sense, easier because people were naturally more funny, more less offended, like more friendly, more like not having their guards up and their shields up. People were more like this before. But I don't know. It's just how life is. Life is becoming too maybe machinic, too robotic and devout, like not devout, I don't know if that's the right word, but out of touch with your emotions, your feelings. And I don't know, there's also the corporate greed attached to it. The corporations, the rich people are truly soulless. A lot of them, a lot of rich people are really soulless. And they are, because they are soulless, they are trying to create a world that is completely soulless. And that's not good for anyone. It's not good for the rich people as well as the people who are ordinary you and me type people. Anyways, that's my 50 cents, which is not really 50 cents. It's more than 2 hours. Jesus Christ. But I feel like I want to be more funny in these podcasts and be maybe maneuver it into a more of a comedy podcast, because that is what I and something which I'm really passionate about: comedy, being funny and making people laugh. I don't know if I have that capability. I have to test it out, but it would be something that I will be really, really happy to do. Like, I love that. I love when I make people laugh, even if it means that they're laughing at me. Like, at times it feels bad. Like, there's two types of getting laughed at. When you are doing it intentionally with the purpose of, like, when a joker comes on the stage and that everybody's laughing at the joker because he's being a silly goof, but they're not laughing at the joker in a way of, like, to hurt the joker. But a lot of times what happens is that people get laughed at, which is a form of bullying. There's a very subtle difference between that two laughter. You can get laughed at in a positive way, like in a friendly, charming way, but you can also get laughed at in a very negative and in a very, like, haha, you're so stupid, why don't you die, that kind of way, like to bring someone down. It's a very crude form. It's not really comedy. That's kind of a um, attack disguised as being funny or being comedic, as a form of bullying, actually, which is very popular in very low conscious group of people. But I will say this, that mostly that kind of comedy is getting eradicated. That's good, actually. A lot of bullying culture, we have more bullying awareness. In our parents' generation, they didn't have any kind of bullying awareness, where they didn't used to think about, bullying, that's a part of life. My parents even used to say, like, the college hazing process, what is called in India ragging, where in Western countries they call it hazing, right? The hazing rituals and the process. Oh, that's just a part of life. You're getting prepared for life. I'm like, Jesus. And I'm shocked that, and that's actually, I love it, that in the Gen Z, actually, they're so conscious that they completely understand that all those hazing rituals in colleges, like when you go to the college for the first time, you'll be humiliated and ridiculed for no reason by your seniors. It's actually unnecessary and completely brain damaging. It's traumatizing. It's not a healthy way to live. There's nothing healthy about it, but people, used to say. Like, at least I heard my parents say it when I was young. Like, oh, that's a way of you, supposed to make you strong. Like, strong in what sense? Is turning you into a toxic person. Is that what strong means? A toxic person? Um, then because of that, I admire Gen Z, even though Gen Z get a lot of like these young people, Gen Alpha and Gen Z, the internet people. They get a lot of like, oh my God, what are these people? They talk about all this aura. Oh, these Gen Z, they're talking about aura, and they're talking about things like aura farming. And I don't know all the Gen Z terminologies, even though technically I am a Gen Z, but I'm like on the like just somehow I'm like more like I'm of a technically I'm a Gen Z because I was born in 1997, so I'm like Gen Z technically, but I feel more like somewhere on the fence of being a millennial and a Gen Z. Like I'm the oldest of the group. If you consider Gen Z as a group of people, then I am the oldest. So I can relate to millennials, but I used to be able to relate to millennials more. But as time goes by, and I'm really happy about this, I relate to Gen Z more because I think that Gen Z, because they're more progressive, it means that they have identified the faults in the previous generations, and they're trying to actively do something about it so that it doesn't all those faults of the previous generation, they don't creep into the modern society. Like if Gen Z become parents, they would be the most soft and gentle parents, and they will create children who are not very hostile. Ideally, let's see what happens. And with the environment degradation, and I don't know, well, I sometimes feel like we are not too far away from completely destroying this planet. But then again, there's also rising awareness to that. It's all really up to the rich people, really. If the rich and powerful people, they don't, if, see, as all these yapping on social media about climate change awareness and whatever, climate awareness, especially the climate awareness stuff, if a not corporate, if the rich and powerful people of the world, if the billionaires of the world, they don't ultimately, see, people like us, the common people who are making content, trying to change the not perspective, trying to raise consciousness of society in general, the collective consciousness of society. If this kind of impact, the collective consciousness, the impact of that doesn't hit the rich people, the rich and the powerful people, then it's all in the way, in the end, it's all pointless. Otherwise, like if people like Vladimir Putin, they don't understand the pain of other people, then nothing can be done because those people are so powerful. They literally control the world. So if people like Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, they don't understand the pain of society, the pain of the common people. If people like Elon Musk, let's say they do, maybe they do, I don't know, even though Vladimir Putin doesn't seem to understand the pain of people. But maybe majority of the rich people, I at least hope that they are conscious enough to see society as a collective instead of seeing themselves as these egoic minds. I mean, if the rich and the powerful are not able to see through their egos and not able to see the bullshit of their egos, then it's all up to them, really. I mean, if they're rich and powerful, they control the whole show. So it's up to them how the show is going to go, really. All we can do as common as an ordinary people, we can try our best to awaken the sleeping, the unconscious rich and powerful, so that they get some perspective on human suffering. And maybe they, like, how Bill Gates, people hate Bill Gates, but I genuinely think that Bill Gates is a genuine person. He actually has his heart in the right place. But a lot of people who are rich and powerful as Bill Gates, do they have their hearts in the right place? That is something which I am unsure of, and something which I feel like, hey, maybe it, I hope they do. Yeah. So yeah, let's say that's the world in front of you. I'm just trying to be a funny guy. Anyways, maybe I'm a goofball. I don't know. But funny again is different kinds of comedy. There's your Adam Sandler, who is appealing to the mass audience, and there's your intellectual, intelligent, funny people, like your Bill Burr, and I don't know. There are many intelligent, funny people as well. But I don't think a lot of intelligent, funny people are popular. Like, for example, I was listening to a lot of these comedy, small comedy club shows. I think YouTube, the comedy scene on YouTube is kind of taking a mm, new launch, I guess, like taking some kind of a new launch. I see so many new comics. They are having their own special on YouTube, and they're getting good views, and it's good. It's good to see the comedy scene coming alive, because in a world where comedy is thriving, that is a world, that's like a good times. The good times are here. That is like a sense of the good times you can get. So I listen. I stumbled upon these comics like Joe List. I don't know if you've heard of him. And then Geoffrey Asmus, I believe his name is Geoffrey Asmus, Joe List. These are some really capable and really funny in an intelligent way comics. Now, I guess like there are different kinds of funny, like the goofball type funny people, like your Adam Sandler. That's also funny. Like your Ben Stiller is also funny. I think they're all funny. I mean, even the goofballs are quite funny. Jesus, my God, I'm experiencing some paranoid. Anyways, yeah, whatever. The so yeah, like I was saying, like these comics, there are some good comics which I recently discovered, and they're really good. But they're, like I said, there are different kinds of comedy, and all of that is really good. At the end of the day, yeah. So I wanted to also talk about meditation. Now, I was experiencing some kind of paranoia when I was meditating a lot in the last month or so. I was going on another upheaval. I don't think that that's the right word, but on a journey, meditation journey. I was trying to meditate too much, I guess, and I was falling into a negative trap, I guess. It was becoming kind of a negative trap for me, the meditation. Which is also something to think about, because meditation is generally thought of to be this beautiful thing that is going to solve all your problems, which it can do. But what I've experienced recently is that too much meditation can lead to somewhat of a paranoia, because and not, if not paranoia, actually, you know what, I was not experiencing paranoia. That wasn't exactly what I was experiencing. I was experiencing dissociation of the mind, because that is actually what meditation is supposed to do. It's supposed to dissolve your egoic existence, this existence that you have as a human, this human identity you have crafted for yourself, for um, yeah, because society, I mean, that's how you live as a human. If you don't have a human ego, then you're free. Then you become the infinite existence, which is also referred to as God. But too much of meditation. That is what it's supposed to do, right? But what happens is, there's this good, like Leo Gura said in actualize.org. There's a, I don't know if you know Leo Gura. That's Leo Gura from actualize.org. He talks about ego backlash, and not just him. I mean, that's just common knowledge, I believe, in spiritual communities. Your ego will try to defend itself and will try to be alive in that egoic state, right? Now, any kind of spiritual work is going to dissolve your ego and dilute your ego, and like dissociate your consciousness. If you are a spiritual, quote unquote, spiritual person, if you're labeled as a spiritual person, even if you drink alcohol or if you smoke cigarettes, then also you can experience this kind of your ego dissolution. Your mind attains a state of consciousness when you're taking in nicotine, or when you're exercising, or when you're drinking alcohol even. Like, it alters the state of mind. Even working out actually alters the state of your mind. So any kind of mind altering state reveals that, oh, this is just then what am I really, right? So it says you are there, obviously you're something, but you're not really this human. I mean, it's the appearance of a human, but there's more to it. Let's just put it that way. Um, it's just, there's more to that human aspect of you. Like, you're a human, definitely, but you're more than that too. That's your higher consciousness. So, meditation can cause dissociation, but you have to be ready for that. Yeah. Otherwise, I wasn't. I was doing meditation. I was not ready. I was not. So when you meditate a lot in a mind, in a state of mind which is not very healthy, that can lead to problems, in the sense that you will dissociate. You will start dissociating, but then you will freak out, because you will think like, "Oh my God, what is happening to me?" So yeah, everything has consequences. Different things have different consequences. Differences in state of minds need to be understood properly. Uh, so yeah, like, that's that's quite a lot that I had to say. I can't believe I actually had to say so much. Um, um, well, hopefully I have something to say tomorrow or something, like, because I just want to do it as a, like, like, I want to become, because this is the person of kind of YouTuber I'm searching for. And I couldn't really find, like, someone who I can listen to on a daily basis and get some perspective out of life. Someone who will, trigger some kind of thought process in my mind that will let me have some retrospect, or that will help me introspect, I guess. Is that the right word? Introspect into the deeper aspects of life, and not just deeper, even the mundane aspects of life. I can get some better understanding, maybe, of those mundane aspects to life. So, in that pursuit of finding that YouTuber, which I couldn't find, I found some different kinds of YouTuber, but I feel like not just YouTuber, content creators, whatever, podcasters. Um, but I just want to, maybe, if you cannot find that person, become that person, maybe, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I want to be a funny guy. I will try to be a funny guy. But please, well, you can say anything, you can write anything you want in the comments. But know that I have a very weak heart. It hurts me. It feels so negative stuff. It hurts me. I'm just trying to be a weirdo, I guess. Now the thing is, like, because um I don't know when I'm being cringy. Like maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm being genuinely funny, or maybe I'm being a cringe ball. But yeah, you should point that out to me. I mean, even if that is hurtful, I will take it. If it's a genuine like comment, like yeah, like dude, you're being such a cringe AF, man. Just chill down a little. I mean, it can be. So I'm because mm, I don't know. I don't have a audience base. So I don't know like what I'm being, if I'm being a goofball or not. So yeah, you can point that out to me, and I will see. I will try to be the most genuine content creator. I will try my best. But you have to support me. You have to help me do that. Like if you help me um become this, like if you like if you watch my content and if you like my content, then see, if you genuinely feel like you're enjoying my content, then like it, like hit the like button. That will help me know that I can, like, okay, yeah, some people are interested, so I can maneuver myself into that kind of genuine content creation. So, yeah, let's see. um well, it's been it's been a while, right? I'll try to be funny. I'll try to keep myself as funny as possible. But obviously, see, sometimes I feel like yapping about something. I used to feel like things have to be more meaningful, right? But lately, I also have this feeling like, because in the end, there's no meaning to life in itself. There's no objective meaning. Every meaning that appears to be in life is all like subjective, right? So in that sense, like how I feel, like if I was Larry David, someone like Larry David, or someone like any famous comedian, your uh, Jerry Seinfeld, like, do they think about meaning in life? Or maybe it's just being funny, right? Like, isn't that meaningful enough? If I'm being funny, then that's just meaningful enough, right? Like, what other meaning are we looking for here? You know? But yeah, I have to see. Like, let's see where it goes. I'm not too sure. No, I'm cringe. It's cringy. This guy is so cringy, man. It can be. I'm not sure if I am cringy or not. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know that. Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy, but I guess uh, I don't know. I have too much of a low self-esteem sometimes to not accept my craziness, even though I am a little bit crazy at least. But maybe I can be funny. I know. I know. I can also talk about things about family, but maybe tomorrow. And I gotta keep something for tomorrow, right? And maybe I can also the record this kind of a podcast while outdoors. That's also possible. But let's see. Let's see, because every in outdoors there'll be a lot of people, and I'll get distracted. I get easily distracted actually, and yeah, they'll be more distracting. So I don't know. Let's see how it goes, and I hope. I genuinely hope, dude. Like people say that it becomes a habit. If you say, I hope you have a good one. Catch you in the next one. Peace. Take care. But I genuinely hope that all of you, if you're listening to be someone, I hope you do good in life. And by good, I mean that you live a meaningful life. You have some meaning. Let's say you're working in the corporate, you're working in a company, and you're getting paid for that. I hope that you can find some meaning in that. You can find some meaning in anything you do in life. Maybe you're a housewife. Maybe you're somebody's son or daughter. Maybe you are struggling financially. Maybe you're going through a tough period in your life, Or maybe your life is you have come to the conclusion that nothing will improve in your life and your life is completely shit. I just want to say that try whatever in what whichever way, no matter how small it is, try to make something out of that situation. Maybe try to improve your health, whatever you can, whatever. Maybe you are handicapped. I don't know if that's the right word, but disabled, right? Maybe you're disabled, and you can't even walk, like, which I take for granted. Like, I go out for a jog every day, and I feel like, yeah, this like so boring. At times, I feel like, yeah, exercising is so boring. But then I realize, like, oh, there are disabled people in the world who can't even walk, dude. I have both hands. There are people who don't have one hand or whatever, people who maybe have some going through disease. There are many tragedies in life, but I guess comedy is important for that reason. You have to have a funny outlook on life. Laugh at things, laugh at yourself. If you have a disability, laugh at your disability. I don't know. I didn't mean to be like mean anything wrong by that. I just mean that you should feel good at the end of the day. Like, because everybody deserves to feel good. Everyone. No one deserves to feel bad or shitty. Everyone is just here. Your parents had sex and they gave birth to you. You had nothing to do with it. Everyone is just born without their permission. So there's no point in feeling guilty or, a lot of people go through life, witness different things, do different things, and a lot of people go through guilt trips, like people feel guilty that they did something in the past, said something to someone in the past. But hey, man, I mean, everyone's going through something or the other. If someone said something horrible or did something horrible in the past and they feel guilty about it, I mean, they need to understand that they were probably like no person, if a person is miserable, they will do miserable things. So that means that people who did horrible things, they were miserable. They're not horrible people because they did horrible things. They were going through misery. It's just we need to understand that and hope and pray that these people get out of their miseries. These spiritual people, they talk about love and why love is important and love is the solution to all problems. They are right, uh, but we need to not just acknowledge it, we need to practice it. Love is something we need to inculcate in our lives. Like, all I'm saying is, if you are a mentally healthy person, you will naturally be more loving towards others. If a person is being hateful towards others, it just means that they're going through some real bad shit, dude. And the modern world and the modern young society, not young, but the modern society, a lot of times they're really uh, not very compassionate towards people who are going through bad shit. And as a result, these people, they just turn into violent, sometimes monsters. Maybe someone like Vladimir Putin or something. Uh, Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, people need to be compassionate towards each other. And people need to, sometimes this, not literally, but, people need to have their mentality that, oh, let me hug you, man. Like, come here, let me give you a hug. There has to be that mindset, the hug giving mindset, it's a mindset really, that compassion that comes with it, the love and the compassion was so important. Um, and love for yourself is often neglected. People feel guilty, like, oh, I'm so selfish. I'm thinking about myself, but I'm not thinking about others. But no, actually, you have to first think about yourself and bring yourself in a mentally healthy place where you will naturally think of other people. If you are a mentally healthy person, name me one mentally unhealthy person. Sorry. Name me one mentally healthy person who doesn't think of other people, who doesn't care about other people. Any person who has love in their life to give, they will give. That is the nature of love. It just spreads on its own. If someone is being hateful, if you see a person who is extremely hateful, it's because they are devoid. No, is that the right word? I don't know. They're lost. They're in a loss of love. They're in a scarcity for love, let's say. That's what I would say. Yeah, like something to think about again. Yeah. So, yeah, this will take time. This, like, I will make videos. Maybe a lot of them might be interesting, not interesting. I don't know right now. But what I need to do is I need to make more of it. I need to understand, and I have to naturally maneuver towards the right kind of content, let's say. Like, if there is such a thing as a right kind of content again. So, yeah, that's what it is. That's how life is. Everything is. And we just living life, I guess. So, yeah. Anyways, take care. Have a good weekend. What did I say? I just meant, like, I just thought, like, oh, somewhere around the world. Oh, because I live in India. Oh, I'm going through a Wednesday. Oh, maybe the people around the world, they're going through a weekend. That's what I thought. Crazy, dude. Anyways, I really, I would say I really enjoyed today's episode, the process of making it. And let's see how it goes. Maybe I can develop into this podcast guy, or maybe podcast goofball. I don't know. Anyways, take care. Have a good one. And I will catch you again. Cringe. Catch you again in the next one. Okay. Bye.